Hey everybody, it's Chris here, and today we're bringing you a new deck list for something I've been kind of playing in low platinum, like what 4 right now I'm in plat 3, 4, 3 something like that. So anyway, regardless of that, I want to apologize to everybody. I know it's been a while since I last posted. Hopefully I'm getting more on an actual posting schedule here soon, so just bear with me on that. Past couple days I've been kind of busy getting my regular job, then all day yesterday getting like tattoo work done and stuff like that. So been really busy. Then before we go on the deck list, I just want to say thank you so much to everybody for all the support you guys have shown me in this video. Not in this video, but in all my videos. Like I'm at like 60 plus subscribers now. All my videos like doing really well view wise. I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you all for that. It's been amazing. And yeah, anyway, we'll get all that out of the way. Today we're bringing you Fluffals. um, I know somebody's gonna see this deck list and be like, this is the worst Fluffal deck list I've ever seen, and like what the fuck. And you have every right. But this is what I'm bringing, and I've actually have been having a lot of success from this, and I've been having a lot of fun. Like I said, this is my own deck list. Change it how you like, of course. But this for me, this is what I've been running, and it's been really good. So we'll get into the card by card, and I hope everybody enjoys. So firstly, we got Despot001. This is our only tuner in the deck we really care about. We have Ash Blossom as a tuner, but disregard that one. So Despot001 is only for a Mecha Phantom Beast and Crystron Hyabrax Crystron line, and that's it. Because we have a line if basically instant ready fusion plus any of our normal summons would get us into a Crystron. Crystron would get out a Despot, and Crystron would get us out Mecha Phantom Beast. Mecha Phantom Beast would get us 3 tokens. And Despot would special summon itself from the graveyard. And at that point, you could use all the tokens plus Despot and to go into our only synchro monster, Baron de Fleur. And Baron de Fleur is an Omni Negate with the once returned destroy card on the field. So this is how we get into de Fleur, Baron de Fleur. And you can cut that engine out of the deck if you really wanted to, but I actually enjoy it, and you could go into it pretty easily and still have room for the other plays. So just so you know. Now we have 3 Ash Blossom and Joy Springs. It's kind of just to stop Max C over any of your opponent's searches if you go second. So like I said, it's really good. We also have like Called by the Grave also to get rid of their Ash Blossom or the Maxi. So just so you know. For the Fluffals, we got 1 Fluffal Cat. If this card is sent to the graveyard as a fusion material for the fusion summon, you could target 1 Polymerization in your graveyard and add it to your hands. So we have Polymerization, and we have Frightful Fusion. This is not a target for it though, it's just Polymerization. So, but we have 3 Polymerizations and we do use them quite a bit, so just so you know. We got 2 Fluffal Wings. If this card is in your graveyard and you control a toy vendor, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target 1 Fluffal monster in your graveyard, banish it, and if you do, draw 1 card. Then you could send 1 toy vendor you control to the graveyard, and if you do that, draw another card. Really powerful. It's basically Pot of Greed. If you have toy vendor, it's really good. Definitely worth using. We got 2 Owls. This card is normal special summon from the hand. You could add 1 Polymerization from your deck to your hand. You can pay 500 life points. Fusion summon 1 Frightful fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as fusion materials. So its effect is just a Polymerization. And like I said, you can use cards from your hand, get into your Frightful cards pretty easily. It's really good. Definitely worth at least running 2 of them. I know you probably could cut this down to 1 if you really wanted to, but I like having 2. So we got 1 Fluffal Sheep. If you control a Fluffal monster except Sheep, you could special summon this card from your hand. You return 1 other Fluffal monster you control to the hand, and special summon 1 Edge Imp monster from your hand or graveyard. Really good card. Basically, it's a free special summon, no matter how you want to look at it. Then you can easily add your, Edge Imps, which is, we have Chain and Sabers here. So that'd be the 2 targets. We got 3 Bear. Arguably one of the best cards in the deck. 3 Bear, you could send this card from your hand to the graveyard to set Toy Vendor directly from your deck to your spell and trap zone. You can tribute this card, target 1 Polymerization in your graveyard, add it to your hand. So the on-field effect, the tribute isn't good, but the discarding to get Toy Vendor out onto the field is really, really good. Definitely run 3 of them. It's basically you have 6 copies of Toy Vendor that way. We got 2 Edge Imp Scythes. You can run 3. I actually just like running 2. I wish this game had side decks, because I'll throw that, throw the third one in the side deck, but we don't have side decks. So, yeah. So, 2 Scythes. 2 Scythes. During your opponent's main phase, quick effect, you can reveal this card in your hand, fusion summon 1 Frightful Fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from the field or hand as fusion material, including this card in your hand. If a Frightful Fusion monster would to be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard. So, it allows you to fusion summon on your opponent's turn, and basically what you want to go into is your Cruel. Cruel is a fusion summon. You can destroy 1 card on both players' fields. You can destroy this one and their card, but you can protect yours with Scythe that you use as the fusion material. Really good, definitely worth definitely worth it. It's a great card. Like I said, if you want to run through this, I completely understand. Definitely do it. And then we got 3 Fluffal Dogs. This is arguably the best normal summon for the Fluffals. When this card is normal or special summoned, you can add 1 Edge Imp Sabers or Fluffal monster from your deck to your hands. So you can add Chain, Sabers, or any other Fluffal card you want to your hand. Or monster card from your deck to your hand. Really good normal summon. Definitely worth it no matter what. So yeah, love it. We got 3 Chain. When this card declares an attack, you can add 1 Edge Chain from your deck to your hand. If this card is sent from the hand or field to the graveyard, you can add 1 Frightful card from your deck to your hand. So you're not using the on-field effect when it declares that attack. What you're using it for is when this card is in the graveyard, because this counts for fusion, by the way. So if you fuse this card off of the other cards in the graveyard, you still get the search effect. We can add 1 Frightful card from your hand to the deck, and you usually want to add Patchwork. So just so you know, that's usually the target you want to go with. Really good card, definitely worth it. I like to run 3 of them. I know some people have cut this down to 2 and done like 3 Scythe, 2 Chain. It's really up to you, but I like running 3 Chain. We got 1 Fluffal Penguin. Penguin is during your main phase, you can special summon 1 Fluffal monster from your hand except Penguin. The effect can only be used once while this card is face up on the field. If this card is sent to the graveyard as a fusion material, for a fusion summon of a Frightful Fusion monster, you could draw 2 cards, then discard 1 card. It doesn't come up that often, but it's definitely worth it, and it's searchable in this deck, so can't really complain. Then we got 1 Dolphin. You can target 1 Toy Vendor in your graveyard, set it, and if you do, send 1 Fluffal monster or Ed Inch Sabers from your deck to the graveyard, which is really good. So 1 Edge Imp Sabers right here. Then, if this card's sent to the graveyard's fusion material for a fusion monster, you can shuffle into the deck 1 of your fusion spells or polymerization spells that you banished or in your graveyard. So it allows you to recycle. It dumps cards from the Fluffal or Sabers to the graveyard, which you want this card in your graveyard in the first place. You want Dolphin's a really good card to search one in the deck. Definitely worth running 1 of them. So. Now for our spells. So for our spells, we got 1 Regeki as a board wipe, 1 Feather Duster for back row, 3 Polymerization, since this is primarily a fusion deck, you wanna, my extra deck doesn't look like it. 3 Polymerization, it's recyclable, definitely worth it. We got 1 Frightful Fusion. Usually we have 1 of them. We don't want to draw it at all, but we could use it as a Anaconda target, so definitely worth having at least 1. We got 3 Patchwork. Patchwork is amazing. You can add 1 Edge Imp monster and 1 Polymerization from your deck to your hand. So this gets Polymerization and 1 of your Edge Imps. Edge Imp. What's the other one? Then Edge Imp. So you can add any of the Edge Imp monsters and a Polymerization from your deck to your hand right away. It's a really great card. Definitely worth running 3. I am running 1 Repair. I really don't like this card. I'm thinking about cutting it myself, probably for like an instant fusion or something like that. So that way I have more, because that way I have 2 instant fusion targets. But like I said, I'm thinking about it. Basically, you could target 1 Frightful Fusion monster in your graveyard, return it to the extra deck. Then you could special summon 1 Fluffal or Edge Imp monster in your graveyard. You can banish this card from your graveyard, special summon 1 Fluffal or Edge Imp monster from your hand. You can only use 1 Frightful Repair effect per turn. So like I said, it's not the best. I don't really like it. It has not really come useful whatsoever. It's really been just a dead draw. But like I said, yeah, you could easily cut this for anything you want. Then we got one Ready Fusion. Ready Fusion is this card plus one normal summon. Usually dog, by the way, would get us, Vanity plus dog will get us into Crystron. Crystron, that point will get us Despot. I went over this line before. This is just a way, this one card's a way to get us into Baron the Floor. And you could also use it off of Anaconda if you really needed to. So just so you know. We got one of the best spells in the deck, Toy Vendor, 3 of them. Once per turn, you could discard one card and draw one card and show it. Then, if it's a Fluffal monster, you can special summon one monster from your hand. And that's not the card you show. That could be any monster from your hand. So really good. Otherwise, discard the card you drew. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add one Edged, Sabers, or Fluffal monster from your deck to your hand. It's a nice floating, and like I said, it's a great card. It's searchable in the deck. You basically have 6 copies of it. You want to have this no matter what. Then we have 2 Called By, already went over why, and yeah, that's it for the main deck. Now we'll get into the extra deck real quick. We got one Vanity. Vanity, like I said before, is to get us into Baron the Floor. We got one Sheep. This card battles your opponent. If this card battles, your opponent cards and effects cannot be activated until the end of the damage step. If this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, or if this card is in your possession destroyed by your opponent's card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon this card, and if you do, it gains 800 attack. So it's a nice little floating effect. It's not the best card, to be honest with you, but you can go into it pretty easily, and it has a nice little baseline. We got one Wolf. It must be fusion summoned with the above fusion materials and cannot be special summoned by other ways. This card can attack a number of times for each battle phase up to the number of fusion materials used for its summon. So you need Edged, Sabers plus 1 or more Fluffal monsters. And you can make this card have like 4 attacks. And there's ways to boost up its attack on top of that. You can OTK this card really, really easily if you have this set up for it. Really good card, definitely worth running at least one of them. We got one Tiger. When this card is fusion summoned, you can target cards on field up to the number of fusion materials used for this fusion summon and destroy them. All flight for monsters you control gain 300 attack for each Fluffal monster, and flight for monster you control. You can only control one Tiger though. This is one of the best cards we can fusion into because of the simple fact being able to target cards on the field and destroy them is really good. Of course, cards that can't be targeted and destroyed kind of suck, but this is a really good card to go into no matter what. We got one Saber-Toothed. When this card fusion summon, you can target one Flight Fur monster in your graveyard and special summon it. All Flight Fur monsters you control gain 400 attack. If this card was a fusion summon using 3 or more fusion materials, it cannot be destroyed by battle and or card effects. Really good card, definitely worth it. You do go in this quite a bit. We got one Kraken. Once per turn, you can target one monster your opponent controls, send it to the graveyard. So this is non-destruction effect. It's, so non-destruction. You do have the target, so monsters can't be targeted. This can't target them, but it's non-destruction. So then this card cannot attack directly until this effect is activated. This card can make a second attack during each battle phase. And once per turn at the end of the battle phase, if this card battled, you can change this card to defense position. So the fact is, this card is amazing. You can change the defense position. You can attack multiple times. It has non-destruction removal. Definitely worth running. We got one Crude Well. When this card is fusion summoned, you can destroy one card on both players' fields. Once per turn, quick effect, you could target one fusion monster you control, send one Fight for card from your deck and or extra deck to the graveyard, except itself. And if you do, the target monster gains attack equal to half the original attack. This is a really good card. Definitely worth going into. It's your prime card going to from Scythe on your opponent's turn. Then we got one Fright for Nightmare. Nightmare? Don't really go into this card that much, but it is good. You gain 300 attack for each fairy and fiend monster in your graveyard during your turn only. When this fusion card destroys a monster by battle, you can send one Flight for monster, one Flight for Fluffal, or Edged monster from your deck to the graveyard. Equal to the original level of the destroyed monster. When the opponent activates a card or effect that targets this card on the field, quick effect, you can banish one Flight for monster from your extra deck and negate the effect. So it does have some nice negation to it. and has a nice baseline at 3,000 defense. So if you do need to go into it, it's definitely worth it. I run one of them, but this can kind of be cut from the deck. We got one Baron the Floor, one Crystron Highway Firebrax. Cross Sheep is really good in this deck because if you fusion summon into the zone that this card points to, you can special summon one level 4 lower monster from your graveyard, and that's basically all of our Fluffals and our imps. So like, Sheep is really good in this deck. We got one Predator Anaconda. Our target for that is Fright for Fusion and Ready Fusion. We got one Mecha Phantom Beast Auroradon, one Apollosa Bow of the Goddess, and one Axis Kotaka to finish out games. And that's it for the deck list. I know some of you are going to be like, what the fuck are you running? But I enjoyed it a lot. I hope everybody else does, and we'll get into the games. Alright guys, so our first match here is actually against, I hate to say this, and I hate the fact this deck is still around, Banquet of Millions. And my opponent goes first. I'm about to get OTK'd. There's nothing I could do. I do have a 15 card extra deck. He's going to play this out. But I do have a Scythe. So if I could get down to 13 cards in my extra deck, I might be able to win still. We'll see what happens. So my opponent activates Lilith. He summons Lilith. And at this point, I'm going to quick effect, Chain Link 1 Scythe. He's going to chain Lilith to that. So Lilith goes into the grave. And we'll see what he ends up getting at this point. Lilith is going to search out 3 secret barrels. I'm like, okay. As he might already have the Banquet. Scythe, at this point, I'm going to bring out Cruel. So I'm feeling pretty good. Cruel effect, I'm going to pop my card. I'm going to pop his secret barrel. And I'm going to banish Scythe to protect Cruel. I got 14 cards. I need to get rid of one more. I'll activate Cruel to effect, because it's a quick effect. I target itself. I'm going to send a card from my extra deck to the grave at this point. So now I got 13 cards. I'm feeling really good, and there's not too much my opponent can do. At this point, he's drawing a bunch of cards trying to get into the combo. I feel like he might already have it. At this point, I feel like, oh shit, he activated Contract. I lost 1,000 life points. If he still has 2 DDs, 2 DD Dynamites with Banquet, I'm still done for. So I don't know what the back row is. He's going through the Banquet line. We all know this. This is really annoying that this is allowed. Into the Void. Another Lilith. He sets 1. At this point, I'm feeling pretty good. He activates Secret Barrel. I activate Cruel, targeting itself. I'm going to send another card. At this point, he's going to concede because now I got 12 cards. And 2 DDs won't be enough life points at that point to destroy me. Yeah, I beat a Banquet of Millions deck with a 15 card extra deck. Yay me. Anyway, we'll get into the next deck here, and I hope everybody enjoys. I mean, the next deck, the next game. Alright, so this is another short game. This is why I'm not enjoying Platinum lately. So this is another quick game. This is against Drytron, and I went first. And I'm really upset, by the way, about this, but I'll explain in a minute. So, I have a really good starting hand. I'm like, okay, I'm enjoying this. I activate Dog. Dog's effect will activate. I do get Bear. I'm feeling pretty decent. Activate Ready Fusion. Ready Fusion will get me out Bandity. Then at this point, I'm going to link off into Crystron. Crystron's effect, we all know. I'm going to get Despot. I'm going to link those 2 off for Auroradon. And at this point, Auroradon's going to get me 3 tokens. It's feeling really good. He has no negates. I'm going to get Despot back up. At this point, I'm going to synchro off all of them for Baron the Floor. So I'm feeling pretty good. Now I'm going to activate Bear. I'm going to get Toy Vendor on the field. I'm going to activate Toy Vendor. I'm feeling pretty good. I can still do quite a bit here. I did draw another Toy Vendor. That sucks. But I do get activate Toy Vendor in the graveyard. And I activate Chain in the graveyard. Feeling pretty good. I still have plays. I'm going to be able to get a Fusion out on the field. I do get Patchwork. And this is going to allow me to get the Fusion. I do get Owl. At this point, I'm feeling good. Activate Patchwork. I do add Polymerization. And Scythe for my next play. And then my opponent concedes. And that was it. Like, what the fuck happened? I was like, oh, this is how like 90% of my game's been. So I've been trying to record for this video. And Alex, I wanted to apologize. I've been trying to record for this video and get some good games. But every fucking game has been Banquet of a Million or this. Where I get to my combos and they get to stop. What I was going to do was I was actually going to pass my turn because I have a Baron negate Ash, and on top of that, I have an Imp. So I was like, I'm feeling really good. Me and that Imp, I have Sabers. So I'm feeling really good. I can Fusion on his turn. I could do 2 negates. Like, he has to fight through a lot. But it's still Drytron. Drytron could do that. They could fight through multiple negates. But, anyway, I'm ranting. I apologize. But, yeah, that's it. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this. And, yeah, I'll catch you all next time.